Technique, creativity and performance, the three pillars of fast learning. How to reach your saxophone practice goals the best and the fastest way. It is very important to learn the best way you can learn. It's not important if you use much or less time to practice. The time you spend is not important, only your inspiration, your motivation and your progress. A structured but flexible learning path is the fastest way to learn. In this video I'll take you through the three pillars to fast learning: technique, creativity and performance. In this tutorial, why do you need the three steps of learning? What is the three pillars of fast learning? Technique, creativity and performance. How to practice using the three pillars of fast learning on basic chords. Hi there, I'm Søren and welcome to Søren Saxophone Lessons. Thank you for checking out this video on improvising. I really appreciate your support. Hit the like and subscribe button and show that you are there. Coming up, the three pillars of fast learning. Why do you need the three steps of learning? It is often proven by many which have much more knowledge of learning than me that blended learning is the best way of learning. How you blend your learning is up to you. The most important thing is to do it and do it now. The brain likes to mix things up and put your knowledge under different labels. Improvising is a pretty complex thing, so the brain is cataloging the information in many ways and in many places. What is the three pillars of fast learning? The three pillars of fast learning is a way of cataloging information, usability and motor skills. The way of cataloging, which you probably already do more or less to your knowledge, can boost your learning if you become more aware of how you use this skill set. In your learning of music and saxophone improvisation, you have three learning stations, the three pillars of fast learning. Without one of them, you do not have the others. Let's start with technique. To perform a task, any task, you need a certain technique. The fastest way to learn a technical task is by repeating without making mistakes. Mistakes happen, so playing without making mistakes is utopia. It doesn't exist. Take, for example, the first chord of the beautiful tune Blue Bossa, the D minor 9 chord. There are a couple of things we need to learn when we play the D minor chord. The notes, the D, F, A, C, E. The D, F, A, C, E. The fingers, how do you put your fingers in the right order? The D, F, A, C, E. Obviously, you need to train this to get this into your fingers. Take it in bite-sized chunks to be able to get the full overview. Learn the notes, put the fingers on the saxophone. Creativity. Right out of our technique comes creativity. Kids do it. They immediately start with creativity. There's almost no technical training when kids are at play. They just do creatively. How can I use this? What can I make with this? Where can I use this? To be able to use your creativity, you have to have a matter to let your creativity loose on. This matter can be anything, even nothing. Getting philosophical here, back to saxophone. Since we just learned our technique on a D minor 9 chord, we can get creative on it. We basically have the notes of the D minor 9. The D, F, A, C, E. Now, to find out how to practice them and order them, we need to get creative. Basically, I look at the chord notes. Let them creatively loose and rearrange them. Play the notes down. Play them up in two steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adding a little triplet rhythm in there. Now, with our creativity, we have found lots of technical ways we can practice our tone material. Add this to your technical program and make the kilometers. get this into your fingers. Performance. The last pillar is performance. Performance is not a technical practice. It should be music. Performance is music. You need to involve your creativity when performing, but you do not need to invent the wheel when performing. Performing is taking all your technical skills, which you have invented, you have made, you have borrowed in your creative process, throwing them into the mix, adding creativity and musicality, putting them together to make a whole. That's performance. The performing part should be where you play music using all your skills, technique, creativity, and putting it into the performance. The performance does not have to be in front of an audience. This can also just be to yourself. Sometimes you play with a play-along, but you can definitely also play rubato, just noodling some lines together. Just noodling. How to practice using the 3 pillars of fast learning. Basic chords. You want to get going using this method, I understand. Creative. Number 1. Find a chord or a chord progression you want to practice. I have chosen Blue Bossa and want to play a chord note solo. I need to learn the chords, the chord notes and the basic forms. I start by taking the notes of the first chord into my creative practice. D, F, A, C, E. I play them slow to get this into my fingers, just to know them. Getting this into my fingers. I find a pattern that's useful for me to play, both in notes and in rhythm. 1, 2, 3. Just going up the arpeggio. I add the pattern to the full tune to practice. Now comes technique. I start with this creatively created pattern, adding this to all the chords in the tune. So going up the 9 chord, D, F, A, C, E, the G chord, G, B flat, D, F, A, and so forth and so on. Adding this to the form. You see, I'm going without timing. I'm going rubato. I'm kind of playing in my own tempo. If you need to, go really slow. Don't rush this. It's about getting this into your fingers. It's not about reaching 100 meters in 10 seconds. It's about getting this into your fingers and into your brain. F minor. That was rubato. Adding this little tune I had before to the mix. So getting the notes in time. You have played this 100 times. Now add music to this. Play this with a play along when you have practiced this a long time. Rubato. Play it with a play along or play it with a metronome. You choose. I choose the play along. I just have it here. So right up. In this step, it's important not to make a lot of mistakes. You have already taken out all the mistakes in the rubato part, so don't make a lot of mistakes. If you make a lot of mistakes, take the tempo down, play in a lower tempo. The great thing about the brain is that it learns everything you do, even mistakes. Aye. Repeat the steps, creativity to technique, creative to technique, go, creative to technique. Making up more patterns you want to train. Basically, the first one is the arpeggio 4-note chord and another 4-note chord from the third. The second pattern is from the ninth down to the root. Same thing, take this, make this up, find out what patterns you want to make. You can take them from books, you can find them in solos, you can take them from other players, whatever you need to do. Get creative on those licks, get creative on those patterns. Find them, learn them, and put them into your practice, your technical practice. First, you should start rubato. Adding the double chord, the two 4-note chords, to the whole form. I have to breathe somewhere because I just put it all over the form. So somewhere I have to breathe, then I'll take a little break. And the second pattern. Adding the pattern to the whole form, like this, starting rubato. Going into playing the pattern in time. Number 3 is performance. It's very important you do not stay in technique and creative. You need to play music. Use your skills, your creativity and technique to improvise. Do not be Charlie Parker or Michael Brecker before starting to play music. You do not have to have all the technique in the world. Combine it. Make sure you make music with your technique, that you get into making music. Use the steps creative to technique back and forth till you have enough material and start playing music. A great way to start playing music is to mixing up your technical patterns. So what you made up creatively, put into your technical patterns, to your technical program. Basically you are composing a solo of the material you have available in your fingers, in your mind, in your ears. I have the patterns. Those 3 patterns. That's what I have in my mind, I have in my ears, and I trained them technically. I made them up, trained them technically. Now I'm putting them into my music by composing a solo with those 3 patterns. Basically, I take a pattern, put it into a bar, and see what happens. I just take random patterns, boom, boom, boom. Put them into the bars. Let's see what I made up. You can easily see that I just took and copy-pasted the patterns in. Playing the solo rubato. 2 times arpeggio up. The double up pattern, 1 bar rest. Down. Down. 2 times up. 2 times up, 1 time down. I start on the second beat. I move the pattern 1 beat. 1. 1. In the second bar, that B flat, I moved an 8 note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Already just moving in 1 beat or half beat makes it completely different. Taking a bar rest in the last bar there. 2 patterns up on the E half diminished. Nice. Nice pattern. Down, and on the second beat, 1. Playing this a couple of times, just getting into it. You want this to be fluent. You don't want it to be something, oh yeah, what pattern should I play now? You want these patterns to pop up and you can just put them in. So practice this a lot, putting in patterns. Now in time. The most important thing here is keep composing solos, keep writing them down, or make a little system where you can add different numbers. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, to add these patterns into the system so you know where they come, and then you add this so they fit beautifully together. At some point you should not write down your patterns anymore, you just remember them. Just play the solo by remembering the patterns and putting them in. I still have pattern 1, 2 and 3. So up, 2 times up, 1 time down. Now I basically just putting them into the solo form as I go. So I'm looking at, I have the patterns in a place where I can see them. So the 3 patterns, I have the form where I can see it, I just add this together. So first I play down. Up and down. Second bar. You see what I'm doing? Basically just copying the patterns in my mind into the form. F minor. Like that. I'm not going to write this up for you. Just figure it out yourself. The difficult part comes when you have done this a long time and you need to put this into a real solo with time. Let's see how it goes. Again, keep the form within eyesight, get starting, start rubato, be able to think all the steps, go back to creative to take it really slow, thinking about these patterns. Look at the form when you're doing this and add them, add the patterns. When you feel comfortable, take some rounds in time, maybe 1 or 2, stop, don't overdo it, take some rounds, stop, go again. The most important things are that you take very, very, very small steps. Always play in control. Switch between the 3 learning pillars: creative, technique and performance. If one step does not succeed in the mode you are, switch it back to a slower mode, technique, creative, and play rubato. More on scales and chord practice. I've made a bunch of really great scales, chords and tunes manuals worth checking out. These manuals will give you tons of material to practice. A really great way to use them is taking these through these 3 steps: creative, technique, and performance. With all the material there, you can go through these 3 steps. You will get there so very fast. You will get to improvising level very, very fast. The links are in the description below. Feel free to ask questions and give comments in the comment section below. And you're always welcome to support me by giving me a like and a subscribe on my channel. Thank you, it's really appreciated. All links mentioned in the video are available below in the description. Play music, have fun.